Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.
Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast. This is your co-host, Seth Greene. With me, as always, the inventor of the infomercial, original shark on the hit TV series Shark Tank, Kevin Harrington. Kevin, thanks so much for joining us.
Seth, great to be here. Thank you, man.
We have a super exciting interview today. We're talking today with John Turnham from Wallet.inc. John, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right, so let's go back a little bit in time. What does Wallet do and how did it get started?
Sure. So it was actually originally designed to be a cashless payment system for casinos. So there's, the origin story here is that I was playing poker and I got a bad beat at the table and I got up from the table and, I was going to the ATM and in the 2 minutes or so that it took for me to go from the table to the ATM, I had cooled off and I decided, okay, that's it. I'm not going to buy back in. I'm going to go spend some time with my friends. And then I thought about it later and I thought that was really a missed opportunity for the casino. So there should be some sort of cashless payment system at the tables that would allow players to stay engaged and keep playing. So that thought just kind of continued to develop over time. And I eventually took a concept to an investor and raised some seed capital. And then we built a prototype, took it to a casino, and then they really explained the ins and outs of the gaming industry and the regulations in that space. And it was a rude awakening. We realized, okay, we need millions of dollars to have them review this technology. My background is all in banking, so I felt very comfortable, but of course we don't have the resources to pay for that sort of review.
And then how did that turn into the way Wallet functions now?
Yeah, so the casino actually explained to me and to our team the customer retention space, how important that is to a casino to retain customers and to bring them back in. And some of the specific challenges that they thought could be addressed with the payment technology that I had brought to them. So this was really a masterclass for me in customer retention, following the steps of the casino and understanding their processes. And so it just evolved over years. This is our 8th year in business, and it's become a customer retention platform originally for casinos, but now for small businesses in many different industries. It works for.
So John, let me understand that. I love customer retention because that gives you a bigger lifetime value then in your company. If you can retain the customers longer, you're going to have more income, more value, and then possibly you could spend more to acquire that customer also. So that's powerful. There's great advantages there. So I want to understand. Tell me, what is the functionality that does the retaining? I want to understand that.
That's a great question. So I think the very first step in explaining that, we have a library of tools. And so before I go kind of through each one, I think the right framework to discuss how this works is to explain how we look at the 4 different segments for customers. We look at customers as visitors, buyers, subscribers, and members. And so by helping businesses understand the behaviors for each of those different segments, we can align the right tools to help that business bring those different audience or people or audiences in. So I can elaborate on those specific tools if you're interested.
Kevin and I are both serial entrepreneurs, although he's got a few dozen more businesses that he owns than I do. Cool. So I'm a small business owner. How do I use Wallet to retain my customers and get them to come back more often? What does it do?
Okay, so great question. And the context of the company is actually really important in order to determine which tool they use. So, many small businesses don't actually know who their customers are. So this is like the lowest starting point. If you're a restaurant or you're a retailer and you don't know who your customers are because they come in, they pay with cash or card and they're gone, you don't have a mobile app and you don't have any other way to identify them, then you need tools to be able to capture their information. Just to start with, you need to build a customer database. And so we equip the business with tools to do that. One of them is an SMS or text message sign up or opt-in feature that works through a QR code. So we see restaurants putting this QR code on their menus and on their tables. Customers scan them, and then they put in their phone number, and they're now connected with the business, and they're subscribed to their SMS list. So this is kind of the square one. If you don't have a customer database, we're going to build you one with some of these processes. And then from there, once you have that database, once you have some customer transactions, you can specialize or personalize offers for each of those customers. So you could say, okay, Bill gets $2 off and Susan gets $10 off, and you can customize the rewards and kind of drive customer behavior that way. So that's really the toolkit for the buyers. So it's gone from visitors to buyers. Yep. And then the third step here is subscribers. So if you have people that are on the fence and they're subscribing, but they aren't, they need some incentive, we have a tool called Dynamic Vouchers, which allows you to broadcast an offer to all of your subscribers. Let's say it's $10, and it actually decrements in value over time. So it will go from $10 to $9, after an hour.
We got built-in urgency, and hey, if each day you wait or each time period you wait to use it, it decreases in value. So you got to come in, you got to do it now.
Exactly.
Very cool. Nice.
So the goal here is to get everybody into the members bucket, which is the fourth bucket. The members bucket is where you have your membership points and your tiers, and you're rewarding those loyal customers. And so then you really have a customer retention strategy. You have a loyalty strategy because you have club members and you can incentivize them by filling their wallet with points and incentivizing them to come in. And that's where you really get the big benefit and the big payoff.
Yes, I got a question. Do these principles and strategies apply to both small and big businesses, or is it? Yeah. And do you bridge the gap there in any way, or?
Yeah, that's a great question, and that's really it's been one of the bigger challenges for us, because the bigger companies have the time and the resources. They're coming from a different. We say playbook. We say that the big businesses and the small businesses are operating from different playbooks. The big business, when they think about their customers, they're using terms like cohorts and customer acquisition costs and churn rates and lifetime value and daily theoretical value and so on and so forth. But the small businesses are using terms like Joe and Bill and Susan. So they think of their customers differently, and we're bridging that gap. So, our platform was really built to help big and small businesses engage with customers and both elevate the decision-making capability of the small business by giving them these stats, and also personalizing the experience for the big business that may not have the personal experience that the small business has.
So you're creating, first off, for level one, we got text message opt-in. So they don't need to go download. You don't need to pay to build a loyalty app. Exactly. They don't need to go download anything special to do it. And then your software creates a digital wallet for them, kind of modeled on the cryptocurrency wallet model, where in their wallet, you have rewards, you have offers, you have coupons, you have whatever it is, and it's customized for each. It can be customized for each person.
Yep.
But I can also communicate at scale. Am I getting that right?
That's exactly right. when we started working with the casinos, we had to deal with millions and millions of records. I mean, it was a huge. So yeah, we can certainly operate at scale. That was where we started, and we learned so much from the casinos because they have a retail outlet. You know, they have gift shops and they've got restaurants, so we can handle the food and beverage stuff. We can handle hotel operations and transactions there because the casinos have a hotel, and that's where we started. And so that's where we're solving each of these different challenges for these industries.
John, are there any other tools that are included with Wallet that to help businesses grow or scale?
So there's a whole library of different tools. Again, it kind of depends on where they're coming from. We obviously there's like things like point of sale integration and things like that. But I think one of the important things to mention here is that the wallet is not just payments. It's a combination of communications and payments, marketing, and in it is almost like an Instagram kind of experience where from the consumer side, they can channel surf between companies. So they can consolidate their favorite companies into one wallet and they can connect with them there. And right now, those customers most people are getting emails that they just delete. So having a single wallet that consolidates everything is really nice. And from the business's standpoint, having a community of their, best customers, at the push of a button is incredibly valuable. So
when you talk about consolidation, I probably have 10, 15, 20 of those little key fobs, tags on my keychain for every loyalty program I'm in at the grocery store, the gas station, wherever. Right. Are you saying that with the wallet, digital wallet, I'm able to put them all in one place and then just scan that?
Yeah, that's the goal. That's the plan. That's exactly what we're doing. Essentially consolidating all that stuff so you can throw out all of those things. Now,
if you are the aggregator of all that, can you then see what I do at other places? And then do you, in essence, become a huge big data company?
Yeah, I think, certainly that aspect to it. However, we've taken an approach of only really reporting any of the usability stats to the business. So we're not really providing names and, addresses and details like that. We're really more focused on trends and spending patterns, that sort of thing. So yeah, I think you could say, big data company that I'm sure fits, but we take very seriously people's personal information, private information, and at this point, we don't really have any, no social security numbers, nothing like that in the system.
No, I wasn't asking if I could buy somebody else's data.
Right.
I was thinking that you, as the overseer of the technology, hypothetically get some interesting insights that people would pay for, like, hey, what are people buying? What are people using? What are best practices that would be very valuable to other marketers? Talk a little bit about how wallet activity helps you understand customer behaviors better.
Yeah. So we're actually part of this, the whole application is really built to create what's known as a closed loop analysis. Right. So if you're not familiar with the term, closed loop analysis is basically that you have a system that you can run, measure the performance of it, and then adjust and run again. So it actually gets better with each iteration. And so, that's really the goal. It's kind of it's really what every business needs in order to engage with their customers, see what works, see what doesn't, and just be able to press a button, run it again with some changes and see how customers respond. And so the the outcome from those campaigns and those behaviors certainly will, we'll be sharing market information for each of these different industries to show, what works, what doesn't work, and so on.
Nice. Beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you've built something amazing. What's your biggest challenge now?
That's a good question. There's always several challenges. I think that, there's a bit of a learning curve depending on where people are coming from. Some people look at the application differently if they're coming from the hospitality industry, if they're coming from the restaurant industry, or from retail, or if you're an amusement park or a zoo or a museum. You're in a different environment. And so getting the information into people's hands in just the right way is a challenge. And it's something that we've actually spent quite a bit of time just in the last few months crafting the materials for each industry. So you can actually find the right tools in our library for your industry. But there's a learning curve, and there's kind of a knowledge transfer process there that takes some time, and we're fine tuning some of those details.
Hey, John, I got a question. I mean, you got an example of somebody that's utilized your services and had sort of a little bit of a magical transformation and successful transformation?
Yeah, it was quite a few actually. The casino would probably be the best example, because they're just using such large data files, and so there's a lot there to analyze. There's layers to this. So let me think about how to answer that question. One of them is targeting customers in different area codes and rewarding them based on how far they have to drive to get to the location. So somebody has to drive farther. We're in Santa Barbara, and if somebody wants to bring somebody from Los Angeles, that's a long drive. So you give them more of a reward and incentive to get in. So, there's just establishing that closed loop analysis. It completely changes the way that a lot of business functions. So it's kind of hard. Let me try to take another shot at that answer, which is, a lot of companies right now are using like general promo codes, like 15 off, for example.
Yeah.
Right. And so they don't get any data off of that. They can be used any number of times by any number of people. And so you only really know how many times that promo code was used, but you don't get any real information about the customers. So just putting these tools in the hands of the business is kind of opening up doors that they just didn't have before, and allowing them to run same day marketing cycles. So instead of doing like mailers that go out and they wait 30 days to see what sort of paper coupons are redeemed, you can push it to people's phones and then measure it within the hour, within the day.
Yeah.
Do you have any numbers that you're allowed to share in terms of the average revenue increase is 22% in retail or something like that?
I'd have to. So I think consolidating the numbers in that way, I think it would be a little challenge for me, right now, but I could certainly follow up and get you those details. In most cases, awesome. In most cases, it's certainly changing the dynamic, which makes it hard to compare apples and oranges, but we can certainly get you some.
What do you like best about what you're doing?
Everything's a challenge. I mean, there's so much personal growth in trying to just launch a business, period. But something that is this impactful for so many other businesses, you learn about so many other operations and different challenges. You learn about, interesting laws that you didn't know about. Like, for example, giving away free alcohol in some jurisdictions is not allowed, and it's allowed in others. And so it changes how offers can be redeemed and where. And so it's an ongoing learning process, and also seeing the benefit for our customers is awesome. I mean, there's nothing else I'd rather be doing. This is great.
Well, congratulations. It sounds like you built one heck of a technology.
Thank you.
Where is the best place for us to send our viewers and listeners to check it out and get started?
Yeah, so our website is wallet.inc. So just type that in the browser. But we actually have a separate promotion for Sharkpreneur listeners. So if they go to wallet.inc/shark, they're going to get access to all the tools I was talking about a few minutes ago for $10. So it's, no obligation. You can check it out. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. But it's $10 and wallet.inc/shark. That's it.
Beautiful. Well, thanks for being with us today, John. It's great hanging out.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. It's been great.
Thanks everybody for watching or listening. This has been Seth Greene and Kevin Harrington for Sharkpreneur with John Turnham of wallet.inc.
Do you need money to fund your idea, product, or service? Are you ready to take your business to the next level but need capital to get it done? Kevin Harrington has heard more than 50,000 pitches and knows how to help you make the perfect pitch to get the funding for your entrepreneurial dream. He's distilled the process down in his perfect pitch cheat sheet, and it's yours for free. Just text PITCH to him right now at 727-888-2100. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 right now and claim your free perfect pitch cheat sheet. Text PITCH to 727-888-2100 to start funding your dream today.
This show has been produced by Market Domination, LLC. To discover how you can have your own show completely done for you and turn it into a real published book and become the authority in your marketplace, go to www.marketdominationllc.com/podcast offer.